You know, most of the AI art tools we use kind of feel like magic boxes, right? You type in a prompt, something amazing comes out. But what if you could actually pop open that box, see all the wiring inside, and then, rewire it yourself to create something completely new? Well, that's the idea we're diving into today.
Okay, let's break this down. With the typical tools, it's a straight line. You get a prompt box, you type, an image comes out. It's simple, for sure, but you're really just along for the ride. ComfyUI is, well, it's a completely different beast. It's not a box, it's a blueprint. It's a visual workspace where you become the architect of the entire creative process.
And that really gets to the heart of it. I mean, what if you weren't just giving instructions, but you were actually designing the machine that follows them? That's the fundamental shift we're talking about with ComfyUI. So, to really get what makes ComfyUI so special, we first have to look beyond that simple prompt box we're all used to and understand the limits of that standard approach. And that, of course, brings us to the alternative, ComfyUI. It gives us a totally different visual way of working with AI. We're moving from simple commands to, well, intricate designs. So what is this thing exactly? At its core, ComfyUI is a free, open-source tool that basically throws out the text box and gives you a canvas instead. And on this canvas, you build your AI generation process piece by piece, using a visual, node-based system. Seriously, think of it less like writing a sentence and more like building with digital Legos. All right, so the key to unlocking all of this is understanding its central concept, the power of these things called nodes. Everything you build in ComfyUI is called a workflow. It's basically the unique map or blueprint that you create by connecting all these different nodes. Each node is like a single task worker. One loads the AI model, another holds your prompt, maybe a third handles upscaling. When you wire them all together, they form a custom assembly line, just for your idea. Now, I know this might look complicated, but getting started is actually surprisingly simple. A really basic workflow can break down into just 3 main steps. You have a node to load your AI model, say Stable Diffusion. Then you have nodes for your positive and your negative prompts. And finally, a node that takes all of those inputs and spits out the final image. It's a logical visual assembly line. And this blueprint approach, it unlocks some absolutely incredible advantages. First, you get total control to tweak every single little variable. Second, these workflows can be saved and shared. But here's the really brilliant part. The entire workflow, the whole blueprint, can be embedded right into the final image file. That means someone can just drag your picture into their ComfyUI and, boom, they instantly have the exact setup you used to create it. And on top of all that, it's super efficient, only rerunning the parts of the graph you actually change. Now, an idea this powerful, it's not going to stay a secret for long. ComfyUI's flexibility has pretty much turned it into an open-source sensation, with just a meteoric rise in the AI community. I mean, just look at this timeline. The project first shows up on GitHub in January 2023. By the middle of the next year, it's not just some popular tool, it's an official organization, it's being integrated by NVIDIA into their software, and it's joining huge industry groups like the Linux Foundation. That is an absolutely explosive trajectory. The community support just tells the whole story. By late 2024, the project had over 94,000 stars on GitHub. That's a massive signal from developers and creators that this modular approach isn't just some niche idea. It's actually becoming a core part of the entire generative AI ecosystem. And a huge reason it got so popular is its sheer versatility. See, this node-based system isn't just for images. It's so flexible, it can be adapted for almost any kind of generative model, from state-of-the-art image and video models to audio generation and even 3D models. It's become kind of a universal interface for AI creation. But you know how it goes. With great power and especially great popularity comes great risk. Being such a widely used open-source tool means it has a pretty big target on its back. And in June of 2024, that risk became a reality. A pretty serious security incident hit the community when a popular third-party extension was compromised by a malicious actor. So this incident, carried out by a group calling themselves Null Bulge, targeted an extension that connected ComfyUI to large language models. They injected malware into the code that was designed to steal sensitive user data. We're talking everything from cryptocurrency wallets and local files to screenshots and even login details, which were then posted online.
So, why'd they do it? Well, the hacker group claimed a very specific motivation. In a statement, they positioned themselves as a collective acting to protect artists' rights, saying they believed that AI-generated artwork is detrimental to the creative industry. This attack really just highlighted the intense ongoing conflict around the ethics and the impact of AI art.
And all of this brings us to the core tension of a tool like ComfyUI. Its very nature reveals this fascinating and sometimes kind of perilous trade-off. It really points to a future that is incredibly powerful, but also pretty complex. On one hand, you have the promise, ultimate power and flexibility backed by this thriving open source community that is constantly pushing the boundaries. But on the other side, you have the peril. That power comes with greater complexity, and the open nature of it all can make it a target for bad actors, which introduces some very real security risks. And so that's where we end up. ComfyUI gives creators the keys to the entire AI kingdom, right? It allows them to build generative machines we haven't even dreamed of yet. But as we've seen, those keys can also open doors we might not be prepared for. So the question it leaves us with is a big one. In this pursuit of art and innovation, is ultimate creative control really worth the complexity and the risk?